It's time to huddle up. I'm Garrett Seawright. This is the Daily Huddle for Wednesday, September 13th. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. We certainly do appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Also give the video a thumbs up. It goes a long way in helping us get in front of more college football fans. If you are listening on the podcast, give us a 5-star review. We'll read them here on the show, and we'll bleep out any of the words that we can't say. Today I want to talk about TV because TV obviously matters to college football. It might be the most important thing in college football at this point. I don't think that's outrageous to say that Washington, Oregon, USC, and UCLA are about to be in a conference where their closest conference member is a couple thousand miles away because of TV. Stanford and Cal and SMU, which are in Texas and California, are about to be in the Atlantic Coast Conference because of TV. It matters. It's really important. And I don't think there's any way to put that toothpaste back in the tube. It's going to continue to matter, and it's going to continue to be important. And I think the conferences and the schools that can harness that TV power to the best of their abilities are going to be the ones that are best set up for the future. That being said, college football does a really great job at TV because not only are there games on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, there are games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN, ESPN News, FS1, FS2, CBS Sports Network, Peacock, ESPN Plus, Flow Sports. I can go on and on and on. Every game that you conceivably could want to see is on TV somehow, somewhere, and you have the ability to get it. I didn't even mention Big Ten Network, SEC Network, ACC Network. They're all there. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoy college football more than the NFL because, for instance, I live in Western Ohio. I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan, and I can watch their games about 4 times a year if I don't want to spend $300 a month or whatever for NFL Sunday Ticket. I don't want to do that, so I don't. For $12 a month with the Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus bundle, I get access to FCS games. It's crazy to me that it's more accessible that I could watch Albany versus Central Arkansas than I could the Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's banana land to me, and yet that's the reality that exists. But there is one thing that the NFL does significantly better than college football in the TV aspect, and that's alternate broadcasts. The reality is there one alternate broadcast for college football, the Pat McAfee show alternate broadcast? And I think there are a couple of reasons for that. One, there's not just a lot of options for college football alternate broadcasts because you have games on SEC Network, ACC Network, Big Ten Network, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News, ESPN Plus, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, FS1, FS2, Peacock, Paramount Plus, CBS Sports Network, etc. They're all booked. They're all gobbled up everywhere that you could conceivably find a college football game. Doesn't have room to throw in an alternate broadcast. And it makes sense because I think, for argument's sake, would you rather watch, or what would draw a higher rating, an alternate broadcast of this past weekend Texas, Alabama, or Iowa State versus whoever, right? Like you're going to get a bigger draw with the game. And the NFL, it's easy because like the Manning cast, there's only one game going on. So your options are if you want to watch football, watch Monday Night Football or watch the Manning cast. If you want to, on Thursday Night Football, they have Thursday Night Football alternate streams with Hannah Storm and Andrea Kramer and Dude Perfect and The Barbershop with LeBron James. Like, it's the only game going on. But it is a way to attract new, different, and younger viewers with the alternate broadcast, and college football is getting it handed to them in that regard. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if there is an easy fix. I don't know if ESPN has to be the one to say, Like, hey, we'll slap on. And alternate broadcasts don't just inherently work. And I think for a while there was this idea of just like, in the NFL especially, of like, let's just slap together some alternate broadcasts and people will love it. Well, no, that's not how it works. The reason that the Manning cast works is because people really enjoy Peyton and Eli Manning. And then the guests that they bring on, people like Marshawn Lynch, people like John McEnroe and Ryan Fitzpatrick. They don't bring on people that nobody likes. They're not dumb. But that's the reason that they work. You can't just say, hey, we're going to have an alternate broadcast. Like, for instance, Major League Baseball, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN has an Alex Rodriguez and Michael Kay alternate broadcast. And the numbers aren't good. Now, ESPN might tell you that they're good. They're not. You know why? Because people don't like Michael Kay and people don't like Alex Rodriguez. The reason that the Manning cast works is because people like Peyton and Eli Manning. And I don't know who the college football alternate broadcast naturals are. I don't know. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense for ESPN to do like a Heisman House alternate broadcast on some game where Barry Sanders is sitting there shooting the bleep with Robert Griffin Jr. III. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense, one, to promote the Heisman Trophy ceremony that could use some help in the TV ratings, but then also you're going to get some good sponsorship from Nissan, conceivably. And also I think people would find that interesting if you just got these old Heisman Trophy winners sitting around chewing the fat watching college football. That would be interesting to me. But I don't know if Tim Tebow watching the game with Johnny Manziel as an alternate broadcast, moves the needle enough or whatever. I just know that the NFL has done a really good job. And really one of the things that caught my attention was the idea of doing a NFL alternate broadcast in October with Toy Story characters for the Atlanta Falcons and Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be a smash hit. Toy Story is a strong brand, and in a sport where you're talking about brands pretty often, you're not probably thinking, hey, I need to bring up Toy Story, but Toy Story is a strong brand. Been around for 30 years. People are going to be interested in seeing what that looks like. Would I want to see a Toy Story alternate broadcast of Texas, Alabama last weekend? Yeah, I would. I want to see Woody Cowboy come off the edge and there's a snake in my boots after getting a big sack on third down. Yeah, I want to see that. But cynically, it is a Joe the Camel type marketing ploy to get kids to like football. And it's a smart move by ESPN, Disney Plus, and the NFL. They need to get young people excited and interested in football. Well, it's easy to do that when there are cartoons on the screen rather than just grown men hurling their bodies at one another. It's a little more. There's a little more to it than that. So you get some cartoons that the kids recognize, and that becomes a pretty easy sell to the kids. So I think college football is missing the boat, and and it's weird to me because like ESPN is the one who's kind of pioneered the alternate broadcast, right? Like, and they've put some investment, some resources into alternate broadcasts with the Pat McAfee cast. But I think they need to think outside the box, get bigger, grow more. And I think some of the colleges and the universities and the conferences need to be the ones to say, hey, can we get in on this? Can you be the ones pushing the networks to like, hey, do you have this technology available to you? Do you have brands that it makes sense to do something similar in a situation like this? Because I don't think that the networks are going to, not to say that they're cheap, because they're not cheap, because they're investing hundreds of millions and billions over the course of years resources into the game. You can't say that they're cheap, but they're not going to spend any more money than they have to unless the conferences demand it. So the NFL is smart in the idea of like, hey, let's just get these kids hooked on football, and the way we'll do it is Toy Story. The way we'll do it is they did the Big City Greens Classic in the NHL, where they, instead of airing the actual broadcast, they had the players look like They were part of the TV show, and they put them on a hockey rink. The Toy Story game, they're going to have Buzz and Woody and T-Rex and Little Bo Peep playing on a football mat in Andy's room. It's going to resonate with kids. And I think the longer that college football conferences don't start to try to hook those kids when they are kids and wait for them to get to be in high school or whatever and then become a fan of college football, you're going to lose those fans to the NFL. And I don't want to see that. I'm on the road for work, so it's a very short version of the Daily Huddle today. I'll meet you back here tomorrow to chat more college football. We'll look ahead to week 3 of the college football season. There's plenty to talk about, and we'll get it all done tomorrow here on the Daily Huddle with Saturday Glory. Again, thanks for making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. We certainly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up if you like what you see. And if you're listening on the podcast, give us a 5-star review. It goes a long way in helping us get in front of more college football faces. And that's always a good thing. Again, that'll do it for today. We'll catch you tomorrow right here on the Daily Huddle.